Welcome back to the fuckery of lightning.
Part 9, but if you flip...
So
But remember, guys, if you flip 999 upside down, it gets 666, which equals not only a cat, but also the devil.
No,
Sure.
remember, Job, it was actually backward in the end of days. It meant 999, like 1999 for some reason. Oh, that will be so stupid. But I
Yeah,
love it nonetheless.
because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm guessing.
And Gabriel Byrne as the devil. They're both entertaining in their own ways.
True.
Some reason someone decided to cast Gabriel Byrne as a stupid version of that. Anyway, what do we need to do now? Alright,
Okay.
Aremia, I forgot about the mission.
Basically, she's guarding the cathedral where the saint is. The problem is, so unfortunately, in order to get us to enter, we need to do some kind of task for her, and that's it.
Do my chores, Sonic.
Here's the basic gist of it. She needs your help to get a stone, so you can get the stone, give it to her, and then you can move on with the story.
You know, this girl has way
I
too...
just described this.
This girl
in
has way
literally-
too...
Hold on, Jova. I literally just described this in 10 seconds. So why the fuck is the game gonna keep... because this conversation is gonna go on for a while, so sit down and watch, I guess.
You know, this girl has way too unique a design to have a side quest so wasteful. Like, seriously, what's going on with her design here? She actually looks unique compared to all the other NPCs.
She reminds me, in terms of design, character design, of God Eater. The
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Also, she has a Kingdom Hearts heart symbol on her head.
Thank you, Square Enix, for being involved.
It's a weird place for a reference like that, though.
Well,
So, yeah, the
wasn't it
Saints
weird in
cannot leave the
13-2 for them to reference Kingdom Hearts with the whole Riku scene, or reference Final Fantasy VII with the opening cutscene of 13-2, or reference, you know, you see where I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Square Enix have a tendency to rip themselves off.
She can't be trusted with herself. So you're telling
Okay.
me that that she might kill herself if we don't be careful?
So,
That would be nice.
I'm sorry, I completely checked out. Could you please, by all means, continue this conversation longer than it needs to go? Thank you!
I forgot if you mentioned, Pedro. It's only
Is this
about
important?
these style of dialogues. Similar to other games that do this, like for example Mass Effect, can you actually, not for the sake of this playthrough, mind you, but in general, skip them by pressing the X button?
You don't even
Like
need to do
skipping
that. Though.
to the next screen.
You can pause them exactly like the other cutscenes. Just press start and select.
Oh,
and
that's
it'll skip
because
it.
no, but actually that's the thing, Pedro. In most of the other games that do this kind of dialogue, like Mass Effect, or recently as I played Horizon Zero Dawn, you can just spam the X button in order to skip to the next lines of dialogue. It's the same that happens in Dark Souls 2 when you go to speak, when you want to level up to the lady in Emerald, and she said seek, the whole thing, because she's repeating only the first lines of dialogue that are available to her.
You can actually use that method to skip dialogues in this game as well. It's just that you also have the instant skip thing.
True.
It's kind of like Preference RF does the same thing, where you can either mash the X button to skip the dialogues, and that's it, or you can just do the fast forward button, or just L2 to skip it altogether.
For that, I can imagine it's more feasible because of the quote-unquote visual novel structure of the cutscenes.
So, Shiroi, what do you think of the scenario? Again, dang it. So...
Let me see if I can spot which specific voice actor they use for this and worthless NPC.
So, who exactly are we trying to rescue with this old
Patrick
cathedral
Side.
stuff?
Fantastic.
Well, of course it's Patrick Seistia. What, you thought we'd actually get him for something important?
We need to. This was remember too. This is the trilogy of wasting great voice actors.
Like again, the fact that both 13-2 and these managed to waste so much good voice actors for these minor roles that no one gives a shit about. It's so mind-boggling. It's a miracle that the voice acting strike did not include in this practice.
To be fair, this was before the voice acting strike.
Well, it kind of wasn't around. I
Kinda like how-
And to be fair, Tio, it would kind of be insane for them to complain about being given less money than the main actors because I mean, okay, when you're
not that Jova, more like the working condition in general, the fact they were just called in mass for extra role like this. In a sense that these took time and effort from them, that, for example, they could have spent being employed somewhere else.
To be fair, Tio, for as passionate as we are about it, for all we know, to them, this may have just been a paycheck. It's like how, oh god, I forgot his name. It's like how Matthew Mercer put it with Wheel of the Line, even though he revealed later that movie broke him. He said, when compared to Overwatch, he said, one was a joy, the other a paycheck. Like, I mean, okay. For as much as I hate that a lot of these voice actors got wasted, for all we know to them, it may have just been a simple bout of, hey, walk in, record a few lines, bam, they're out. Which, oh, you know what? More power to them, but they did not have to suffer like we do. Hooray! Now you're actually going to do something interesting.
This quest is so annoyingly boring.
Like, seriously, again, she has a different design. Like, when you have an NPC with a different design like that.
There is no pulse to this.
Like,
and I'm sorry if it sounds ironic considering the name from the first two games, but God.
No pulse.
Sorry, Teo, but we're not at Ni no Kuni 2 yet, so sorry.
Oh, not even Ni no Kuni 2, like, I'll take even Final Fantasy 13 over this.
Oh, they actually mentioned Fang.
Oh yeah, that's right. Vanille's at some cathedral apparently. And why are they calling Fang Lady Fang? Is Fang now officially Vanille's wife or something?
Remember, she's being worshipped as a saint in the cathedral. So.
Well, I get that Vanille's being worshipped, but does this mean that Fang is considered her wife since they're calling her Lady Fang?
Yes, they finally canonized the ship.
Hooray!
To be fair, the way they've always acted,
true, it was mostly on practically anything.
Well, aren't in some translations they're like siblings?
I don't know.
Not that it matters anyway. Oh my God! We get it! I've got the stone. Can we please go now?
So let me guess. This means basically this is just a long bout translation to you have to sneak in through this back way because the way is locked, or you have to enter in a certain time. Am I right?
Basically.
Pretty much.
So basically.
Fucking Lord, Jesus.
So yay, girl with different design. Your usefulness was giving us information, I guess. Wait, what was that person doing there? Like fist bumping in the air?
Again, Jova, the NPC's behavior of this game is quite astounding.
Well,
the fact that 7 years after Sonic 06, a game managed to replicate that feeling with the NPCs is very impressive.
And if I'm to be honest, it did NPCs even worse than 06. Like,
true.
That's saying something.
At least in the game, I only see for now only one time where the behavior went erratic during a steel cutscene dialogue.
And, at least 06 had cutscenes that actually looked good at times. Like, Lightning Returns has none of that. Like, even the CGI cutscenes of Lightning Returns are bad.
I don't know. I mean, I think the CGI animation looks fantastic.
No.
It's just because it's the same from the first game, so it's serviceable at best. But otherwise, I was never really monster design aside. I was never really a fan of his art style.
Oh, I'm not talking about the art style. I'm talking about I think the CGI animation of the cutscenes looks.
Well, again, that's because
like
it's
Tia
CGI
said that,
and
it's essentially
Enix, it was practically bound to happen. Even Mindjack has good CGI FMVs.
With Lightning Returns, the CGI does not really work well for me, at least, because if I'm to be quite honest, like Tia said, it looks at best to be on par with Final Fantasy XIII's CGI, but. I mean, that was 13. That was back in 2010.
She's back.
Long time no see.
Oh, it's so sad she can join it. So, Pedro, you get both the demon spawn of your life and the long time no see joke. How do you feel about this? How many people do you want to kill in response?
I think he's dead. Yep,
Also,
he's dead.
more pretentious narration with footage from the first game in probably some of the worst sequences ever.
So, Pedro, how dead are you after that combo?
No,
That ain't Falco.
Like, can I go?
That scene, it looked like she was dropping down. You know what's funny? That scene, it looked like she was dropping down to Sarah's pants to give her a blowjob.
Yeah.
Can I go record Morning No Kuni 2, please?
Oh my
What?
god, would you just
Oh,
shut
so
up?
other people can see Lumina. And Lumina, why is it looking like you want to eat her out?
Oh yes, we've been together ever since I woke up.
Because every single woman in this, because every single woman in this trilogy is always in a constant state of sexual intention for some reason.
Especially Lightning, hence why she has to be so neutral. She's suppressing her urges.
I love all the soldiers are just questioning these, like, what the fuck are we doing with our lives?
Yeah.
There's something I have to do.
Especially
All right,
raising helmet
everybody,
with their wings.
prepare yourselves.
Oh my god, has Vanille actually gotten some
actually,
character development and matured? My
There's
goodness.
the fudge over.
There's the fudge.
That's her rear end. Thanks, game.
Also, again, can I point out how those helmets are very stupid? With the
I love how even
chest
Lightning. I love how even Lightning doesn't really seem like she wants
Woo!
to follow her.
What the fuck?
Don't you see, Toriyama's showing off his directorial abilities.
I'd have thought the Order's
No.
cathedral at least would still be clear.
Oh no! Look, it's
Filled with chaos energy.
Interesting.
Yes, I know. It hurts.
No.
Oh, they're trying to make her into the air, aren't they? Where she can talk to the spirits and whatnot. Because this is
Basically.
so basically they're ripping off Final Fantasy VII to its very core now.
So yeah, after the decrystallization, Vanille has a new gift, sorta.
Because of course she does. Why not?
Oh hey, at least she's using it for good and not lying to people 24/7. So
I have a.
Oh, that thought, Jova.
But where did?
wait, what? Hold on. What do you mean this wind is the dead? I thought everyone in this universe is dead already. Be consistent, Gabe.
The people are deader than dead.
Let's not.
This place is deader than dead. How
this
can
tril-
you love it here? It's too
Jova, at this-
heavenly.
Putting
Jova.
too much happiness in this game.
Jova, it doesn't really matter. The entire franchise at this point was just in a zombified state anyway.
So it's a good metaphor in the end.
So.
So basically,
cannot-
from what I can
I
understand,
just have
Vanille
one
has to
basic
speak
question.
to these people in order to keep them from destroying everything. Is that it?
Still,
Yes.
is there some kind of supplementary material that explains why the fuck Vanille can suddenly hear the voices of the fucking dead?
Even if there is, I actually haven't checked.
Okay.
Well, my
Why?
guess is- well,
Just
considering-
why?
My best guess is that, considering kinda how, after being decrystallized the first time, Vanille and Fang were kinda a bit strong before, my guess is that the more you decrystallize after completing your focuses, the more stronger you get by process. But the problem is, this power seems very specific.
If I
So my
may,
guess is that the Bunivelza just fucked around with her.
if I may bring up a plot hole here. Okay, so
I can point
Bunivelza.
out other ones. But
So
go ahead.
Bunivelza, Lightning's task is to rescue souls. Bunivelza did not specify whether or not those souls need to be quote-unquote living or dead, because remember, everyone in this universe is dead. So, Lightning, your goal is to help save souls. You will right now have here, like you said, literally millions of souls that are practically crying out to be rescued. Why do you not take advantage of this? Because I'm guessing she's not going to.
Trapped here, because remember, they're in the state of chaos, so if I
Well-
recall, they're not that easy to extrapolate.
Yeah, but surely Lightning will find a way, and then, okay, why not focus on finding a way to free them, and then bam, that would probably fulfill your quota. Also, was Lumina just winking at the camera on that one?
Hey everybody, Cat already solved the mystery. Did you get it too? Here are the points.
Finally, I have you back.
I'll even take episode 3.
Oh,
over
hey
this.
Hope! Haven't heard from you from a while.
Yeah.
My ears were
And
just
we
starting
were
to
certainly
forget
happy
you.
for that, Jova.
I'm glad to hear that. Oh, and Vanille
So
Don't
which
worry,
would you say sticks in your ear more, Tio? The DuckTales tune or Hope's voice?
The
Actually,
DuckTales
Jova-
tune is wonderful. Please don't
Actually,
merge
well,
its
not just
name.
that. Regardless of the quality, Jova, the DuckTales theme didn't really stuck with me in general.
Really? I'm surprised that there's
Not
somebody...
because it was bad. Remember, Jova, I'm not really into opening in general, regardless of
Oh, I get that, I
anything.
get that, I get that. I'm just shocked to find that there's somebody who actually does not have it stuck in their head, because normally
It also
everyone...
doesn't help because remember, Jova, in my country, DuckTales was not seen as the big thing as it was in America because we already had decades of comics that told pretty much exactly the same things, if not more. So it was just a neat extra of something we already knew.
Okay,
So what do
now,
I need to do now?
so now that Toriyama once again pulled yet another plot development out of his rear ass, let's go back to the Wildlands. Thank you. I totally need to be reminded of that.
What? Oh, the King of the Mugos, Mog. Some regrets don't fade with time, no kidding.
I don't care. Moving on.
So what
So,
are we
yeah.
doing now?
This is Arya's village. It is completely and utterly pointless and useless, and it only serves to do side quests with sheep. So don't bother with this village.
But
She's not here.
I'm not even kidding. The primary purpose of this village is to do a side quest where you have to find sheep and get them into a corral.
But wouldn't that be cool? You know, herding sheep.
It was cool. It was cool in Super Mario Odyssey.
I was just
but
about
it's
to
not, but it's not cool here. Sorry.
Well, I'm
Even
sorry, I'm
then,
sorry.
I heard people that don't really like the moon. The moon's tied to that type of side quest.
Hold on. You're telling me that they managed to screw up a simple bout of herding sheep into a circle? How'd they do that?
Even
Well-
Spyro 2 had one.
Well,
Kinda,
there's some.
sorta.
Well, you can just basically ignore those moons anyway. There's so
Anyway.
many of them anyway.
Well, not if you want some of the bonuses with 100% completion, but that's another story. But Pedro, how did this game screw up the sheep thing, if I may ask?
It's annoying because the sheep run slowly, so the mission goes by really slow, and it's
I mean,
you're not
guys,
really
we turn
doing
also
anything.
into escort missions where when monsters pop up.
No. Fortunately not. Fuck me.
Wow,
Anyway-
Pedro, you sound so done with this game.
I don't see. That's the thing, Jova. Like, we have Final Fantasy 15 now, so we moved on to much better things. World of Final Fantasy as well. They did MT recently. So at this point, this is just beating a dead
stage.
horse. Yeah.
Then again, you know what they say, those who don't learn
Oh,
from
Shira,
history
you
are
just
doomed to
missed,
repeat it.
Basically, Shira, apparently there's an entire set of side quests, which thankfully we're gonna skip, about wrangling sheep back into a barn for some reason.
So you can skip these, but not the ones in 06. I see how it is.
The reason I'm skipping these is because if I did all the side quests in this game, this playthrough would be like 50 parts long.
Oh,
and I
but
don't
wouldn't we get to
remember,
see
like,
so much
9
variety?
90%
No.
of them are pointless. I can
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah.
that.
Here's the
The
deal,
06
Leroy.
the
Most
06
of the
side-
side
the
quests
06
in this
the
game
06
don't
side
really
quests-
even have that much
yeah.
dialogue to them.
Your 6 side quests give us quote-unquote extra lore with the Rimlight Corporation, for as stupid as that is.
Whereas with this game, there are some ones that are literally as easy as, hey, I need you to break this. Okay, my spirit
Hey.
is now saved.
Hey, Lightning, could you check the 13 clocks over town just to make sure that they're working?
Hey, Lightning,
thanks.
could you go get my groceries? That'll help free my soul.
To be honest, when Twilight Princess actually asked you to talk to a shitload of cats to find one of the dungeons, it was just once.
Yeah.
This is here for like half of the game at least.
Again,
So, yeah,
let me remind you,
we've
side
managed to
quests are
heal
supposed
the
to be
Chocobo back
how you
to health.
actually proceed in the story. This is a game that
So-
relies on the side quests, and yet some of these side quests are so mundane as simply just answering questions by punching in a number code or just finding this or that. Like, again, if you're gonna have side quests be how you
know-
actually proceed, then give your side quests, all of them, a good bout of flavor. Like, seriously, you don't see them slumping on any side quests in Majora's Mask, a game made well before this game.
You know what's interesting, Jova?
What?
It's interesting you say that. I actually have a good reply to that. Let me just quickly get it.
Dropping by.
Okay. In the meantime, does that mean that the Angel of Valhalla is completely healed and can go face Caius?
Very good, Teo.
Wasn't he
Yeah.
already healed? Since he's been helping us out of
not
fights
enough
anyway.
for Jova, that's
We're
the
not
thing.
we're not gonna do it now because, as you can see, the day is almost done. So we're gonna save it for the
Basically,
next.
Jova, the healing of the Angel of Valhalla is actually progressive, in a sense that when he's healed completely, he can do bigger jumps, so like the one that you need to get to the actual dungeon of this place.
Yeah.
So basically, he's like Superman if he's been weakened by kryptonite.
Pretty much. Again, if Rocksteady decided to make a Superman game, I can imagine that would be kind of the way of character progression goes. Superman being infected with kryptonite and slowly regaining his powers one by one.
So basically, the idea being is like, well, when he's at full health, that's when he has the strongest of powers. When he's
There
weakened
you go.
health-wise, he doesn't have as fast as strong.
Here's an interesting thing. An interesting thing you were saying about side quests. I recently this woman at Kotaku posted this article about Ni no Kuni 2 side quests. This is now their second article describing the Ni no Kuni 2 side quests. And she talks about the story of Sibylla and Glaucus, just to give you guys an idea of what we see. The story begins in the newly liberated Dropless.
Yeah? Wait, hold
The quest
on.
is called The
What's
Way
this
to
about?
a Man's Heart. Basically, it's a side quest. It's one of the many little stories that you can get for the side quests, and just a demonstration of how much better the side quests are and how they
Whoa,
could have.
Pedro! I think you're
You started
skipping.
skipping the dialogue with X.
Wow, you must have gotten fed up.
I did. Sorry. It's not just that.
Oh,
Again, Jova,
Hope's talking.
You were talking about the mundane side quests, Jova. Considering how side quests are the primary way of grinding, if the side quests were as good as Ni no Kuni 2's, they wouldn't be a problem.
Exactly.
But they're not. But anyway, here's the story of.
Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, it's a story of love and longing. It was time. So Evan is going to help us. Prior to Glaucus' recruitment, a female admirer by the name of Sibylla enlisted your help to win Glaucus' heart because she's always admiring him from afar. So her love was required, but turned out her love wasn't required because he only sees her as a mere co-worker. After devising a plan to cook for him to get his attention, we get all the ingredients. So that's the fetch part of the quest. The plan went swimmingly and all seemed well. Love was on its way. And then hours later, when we returned to see how things were, turns out he says, and I quote, "You hold on, here we go. Yeah, I must thank you for being so helpful to Sibylla. I have given matters between myself and her a great deal of consideration. And I have decided to forget her. I understand how she feels about me, but I have a dream, and I cannot expect her to be part of its fulfillment. You see, I wish to leave Hydropolis, and I wish to set sail our seas, and I wish to make your kingdom the best." And basically, after helping him, he decides to come to my kingdom to help me build ships. And he also asks him to tell that to Sibylla and whatever. So basically, Evan witnessed literally a deep emotional cut of Sibylla being rejected by this fisherman, but then she of course thanks us for at the very least thank me for getting this out of the way, basically because she was so shy that she couldn't even go through this. Or so I know there's a cutscene going on, but I still don't care.
Okay, let's actually, I guess, commentate on it.
He does like to talk that
These close-ups, man.
Also her movements.
Wow,
Yeah.
she's actually pointing out the problem with Hope talking too much.
It's so weird, Sherry, because the mocap, when it comes to mocap for CGI cutscenes in Square Enix games, has usually been fine, but in this game, I guess for the low budget, it's kind of jerky.
Oh,
I've
so
seen worse
Lumina was
mocap
the
than
one
this.
who showed Noel that stupid Oracle drive.
he'd sabotage the prophecy himself.
Well, we already knew that.
Well,
Yeah.
So
but
what's
it's a
the
twist. So apparently Lumina is actively trying to stop lightning
What
for
a twist!
some reason.
Oh wait, we already
Trust me,
predicted
Joe,
it.
when I say this, he's just fucking with her life, and that's pretty much it.
Why even?
Pretty fake.
Yeah.
For the lulz.
Like this
But
god of yours.
why though? I mean, even Kefka, who was incredibly insane, had some method to his madness.
What's with this camera angle?
Ah.
I think Hammer kills him
Sharp
back
as a
asleep.
knife, aren't you? You get to know so much about things.
Also, why is Lumina speaking like one of those college girls? Like, duh.
It's like they're trying to make her the Demix of this game. The slacker, the kind of, nonchalant, modern-speaking guy in a mystical fantasy
didn't
realm.
want to do anything. Lumina seems very happy in doing stuff.
Well, the deal's again, they're trying to make her the modern-speaking dude or dudette
Alright, time
of
to
the
grow another
bad
crystal
guys.
ball out of this tree thing.
Yeah.
So let me guess. All
pretty
the souls
salty
that
that this
she's
is supposed to
collected
be
are
interesting.
somehow put into that one ball. What even
Lol.
is?
Again, Java, this is supposed to be Yggdrasil, which it's clearly clearly not. There have been so many different interpretations of Yggdrasil in video games, and for this one you chose some floating testicles. So what's your
Anyway.
reward?
Spell Arise, aka magic
Win the
equivalent
game.
of, aka the revive of this game.
Wait, why would you even need a revive in a game this easy?
In case you get a game over, probably for the bonus stuff anyway.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Just to finish.
Hello there, Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
what
Pedro?
happens is, so basically, even though he coldly rejected
Once a-
her, Sibylla later became available to recruit to the kingdom. Her reason for wanting to join Evermore, she wanted to repay us
Hold
for
on.
helping her with the initial quest. What?
From the shadows to help keep the peace.
All
Trying
right.
to hear.
No,
Talk to
don't
her.
worry, Joe. It's only lore that we already know for this case.
Trust me, Jova. Hope repeats himself a lot.
Also,
I
why
assure you.
is God actually selling items?
Because God is stupid.
Shouldn't-
Anyway,
I'm not sure. Yeah, continue, Pedro. Might
She
as well
became
finish
a-
this
Getting
one
on that
a
potions
positive
market.
note.
she became available to recruit eventually. Her reason for wanting to join my kingdom, you ask? She wanted to repay me for helping her with the initial quest and wanted to follow Glaucus to the kingdom, determined to win her heart. So yeah, it's kind of pathetic how she, even after that, she still will not give up. Love is truly blind.
Delusions, yeah.
And that
For again, and she ends this article with an interesting interpretation of the side quest. For again, that's mostly uplifting. Nuclear 2 shocked me with Clockwise. Yes, it was quite funny how it happened, but in a messy way that caught me off guard. It's also cool that the game focused on this one interpersonal relationship in such detail, allowing it to unfold during the course of the story and connecting me to its character. I tend to enjoy these interactions in my games, but if I end up hating some of the worst town. Even if I do end up aiding with some of the worst townsfolk that humanity can offer, Glaucus' quest inclusion and a few others help complicate and balance the Neo 22's world. The game does all this while being wholly committed to using its people, locations, lore, a surprisingly grounded world waiting to be discovered. Unfortunately, as with any grounded world, there are perfectly horrible people like Glaucus waiting to meet you as well, aside from the good one.
The fact that Kotaku of all websites is actually talking about this baffles me. Lady who wrote the article, you need to get away from that. It's not good for you.
It's not just
I
that,
know,
Teo.
right?
This
You're
is not
too good
it's not-
for
it's not-
them.
It's not just that, Teo. This is now the second person from Kotaku who posted an article dedicated to how great the side quests in this game are. So
I think one thing that helps about Ni no Kuni 2 from separating it from its predecessor is like, well, in creating your own kingdom, you do get cool side quests like that. Like, there's one thing I do like, it's when you can kind of decide, okay, I want these people on my roster or whatnot. It can be what helps differentiate one player's experience from another. I'm guessing that you have a choice on who you get to add to your kingdom over.
No. There's 100 specific people that are recruits. Like, there's no picking who to recruit and who not to recruit. Like, there's specific 100. There's specific people that get recruited.
You know what I
over
mean,
the course of-
though. You know what I mean. I mean, go for
You
your
can
own
choose
point.
not to do a specific side quest that
That's
recruits
exactly
the guy.
my point. That's exactly my point. It's like, well, you can have it be whichever way you want.
The primary point that I want to make with this is that, again, this game, remember, the only way to grind in this game is to do side quests. If you're going to have a game where most of the grinding is side quests, make the side quests fun, engaging, great. The primary way of recruiting citizens in Ni no Kuni 2 is through side quests. And guess what? As I've demonstrated through this article, the side quests have actual spine to them, as Teo would say.
Well, to be fair, the side quests in this game for like returns actually do have a meaning behind them. It's just aside from that, you're not very incentivized to do them in general.
Yeah.
What exactly is the meaning behind finding the 13 clocks just to make sure they're working?
Boost stats. That's pretty much it.
Well, I was talking about story meaning, but sure, that works as well, I guess.
But Pedro, it's an RPG. Why would we want to focus on narrative in an RPG with writers from some of the more beloved Square Enix games?
See you, everybody.
See ya.
Yeah.